Great, don't mind me. We have a couple of setups going on here. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining in, I guess, with our first proper mini Facebook Live or Instagram Live if you're watching on Instagram. So thanks for coming along. Feel free to drop any comments or questions here. So as you will have seen from our topic today, we are talking about how to reset your sugar cravings. So for those who joined last week, you will have heard that we are changing the format of our Facebook Live. So instead of doing regular long 1 hour lives in the evening, we've got these 10 to 15 minute lives at around lunchtime to kind of give you a little bit of information on topics that we know you really want information on. So welcome and let's get into it. Today we are talking about how to reset your sugar cravings. There's so much to say about this, but we are keeping it to about 10 to 15 minutes. So first of all, I just kind of want to start off a little bit about what hunger, appetite, and cravings are and how they're regulated. So they are regulated by two main hormones. They're called leptin and ghrelin. So ghrelin stimulates the feeling of hunger. It's produced in the stomach and it's released in response to low food intake or fasting or other cues like stress, cortisol secretion, and more. Leptin is our satiety hormone. So this is the one that helps suppress our appetite. Interestingly, leptin, so the one that helps us to feel less hungry, have less cravings, and have a lower appetite, is actually produced and excreted from our fat cells. So knowing that, a lot of us might assume that if we have more fat, we have less cravings or we're less hungry. But obviously a lot of us know that not to be true. A lot of people who are having trouble shifting weight find that they often feel really hungry or have a lot of cravings. And that's because of a thing called leptin resistance. So leptin resistance actually happens when the body doesn't respond to the cues of leptin and the hunger is never satiated. So it causes us basically to feel more hungry than we otherwise should. So specifically when it comes to cravings, they tend to be a lot more emotionally linked and they are influenced by the hypothalamus, which then influences production of leptin and ghrelin. So before we jump into kind of our big product for today, I will say that while you're on a detox, our detox drops and patches are actually designed to also help to reduce hunger and cravings. So they have many benefits. One is obviously increasing metabolism and fat burning. Another one is balancing your blood glucose, but then also on top of that, they do help to balance out hunger and cravings. So definitely while people are on detox, it's still normal to feel a little bit of hunger. That's always going to happen when we're kind of altering our energy intake and our kind of macronutrient portions. But the drops and the patches do really help. So you've kind of got that added support. But the main support that I wanted to talk about today is our product called Craveless. So if anyone's done a detox before or if you've used any of our SBN products, you may have seen it. It's this little guy sitting on my shelf right here. And this one, it's literally just 2 sprays under the tongue as you need it. Doesn't taste like anything. Yeah, it literally doesn't taste like anything, but it's amazing. So this is full of natural homeopathic ingredients. And literally all you need is 2 sprays under the tongue, just as you please. You can take it during detox when you're not on detox. And that has been specifically designed to help suppress appetite, curb cravings, even boost metabolism, and therefore support weight loss. Another really good reason that it's specific for cravings is because it has a few ingredients in there that are quite related to our emotions. So like I said before, cravings are slightly different to hunger and appetite. They are all related and they do all have something to do with our leptin and ghrelin, but then cravings specifically are a lot more emotionally triggered. So that's why this product is so fantastic, because it doesn't just have ingredients that are therapeutic for balancing out our ghrelin and leptin, and also, like our detoxes do, helping to lose weight so that you don't have that leptin resistance so much. It's also got a few herbal and homeopathic ingredients that are really specific for calming us down, mentally and emotionally, particularly those emotions that are linked to food intake. So this formulation contains a homeopathic preparation of monson. Monson. I always have trouble with that word. Basically, a homeopathic extract is something that it doesn't provide our bodies with a high therapeutic dose. What it does instead is it gives us kind of a lower dose that then stimulates our body's own internal healing processes. So basically, by taking monson in homeopathic form, instead of giving us something that's going to make us that's going to block our cravings, it kind of stimulates the body's own internal ability to manage cravings and manage emotions and manage all those hormones related to our hunger and appetite as well. So monson is extracted from jojoba. So a lot of us will know jojoba because we use it as oil on our face. But specifically, it does have some really great research for helping with appetite. So there's been recent clinical trials that have shown that it helps to suppress appetite, reduce food cravings, and significantly decrease overall food intake, which is kind of the most key factor when it comes to cravings. Particularly cravings, a lot of people who are on weight loss, if they know roughly what to eat, how much to move, it should be straightforward. But if people have cravings that they kind of can't find a way around, that's almost 50% of the reason that people will stop a weight loss program, because their cravings are so strong that they just can't reduce their food intake, even though they know that they should. So what's really great about this is that it actually, because it is so potent in helping to reduce those cravings, it then has a significant decrease on our overall food intake, which is then the reason that people successfully lose weight. So this isn't, there are a couple of ingredients within this product that do help metabolism, but the jojoba, the monson specifically, doesn't necessarily boost your metabolism, but it does quell those cravings so much that it helps to reduce overall food intake. So basically, research has shown that it can satisfy hunger and then cause a decline in food intake. It reduces the intake of food by increasing satiety via the vagus nerve. So if anyone's heard of the vagus nerve, it's basically a long nerve that runs from our gut to our brains, and it is very, very influential in our emotions, but also how our emotions impact our physiological health. And so the monson in jojoba as a homeopathic preparation has been found to specifically target the vagus nerve, which then helps us to feel more satiated and experience less cravings. It's also been found to enhance satiation by inducing pancreatic hypertrophy. So our pancreas is responsible for producing a lot of our kind of, how do I put it? I guess metabolism balancing hormones. So things like insulin that helps to balance out our glucose levels. So our glucose levels also play a really big role in our hunger and cravings. Increasing brown adipose weight and metabolism. So this is likely because of protein shortage induced by the pancreatic effects, and then causing a slight decrease in the growth of some of those cells, and also in the our hunger hormones. And yeah, there have been multiple studies that have shown dose-dependent benefits of taking monson and helping to reduce our cravings. So that is this wonderful product. You'll be able to find it on our website. It also, I believe, comes included in a couple of our detox bundles. You'd have to go through and check to see which bundle kind of suits you best. Before we wrap up, because we did say these would be about 10 to 15 minutes, I just wanted to give a couple of extra tips. So a product like this is fantastic, and I always like to give people kind of a more holistic approach to help kind of stack on top of those benefits, to help increase those benefits even more, like 1 + 1 = 5 kind of thing. So you could be taking this and also be doing a few different kind of diet and lifestyle changes, particularly while on detox, because you'll be getting that reduced adipose tissue, which then influences our hunger hormones and basically helps us to produce more satiety hormones, or to be able to receive the messages from those satiety hormones so that we aren't so hungry and so we don't have so many cravings. So this plus detox plus a few additional tips, and you will be on your way. So my first tip may sound incredibly obvious, but it is to sleep more. So there is so much research that links people who are sleep deprived or people who feel stressed or excessively anxious and having higher cravings. And they found that link to be likely or most commonly due to excess cortisol. So cortisol is known as our stress hormone, but it is really important in the body for metabolism, energy, cellular health, lots of other things. We do need healthy levels of cortisol, but we don't want excessive levels of cortisol. So when I say here that people who are sleep deprived, excess stress, or overly anxious have high levels of cortisol, that is kind of above the healthy level that we want to be having. And then kind of like I said at the start of this live, that cortisol has been shown to spike ghrelin, so to spike our hunger hormone. And although there is a little bit of a difference between hunger and cravings, we all know that when we're hungry, those cravings get so much stronger. So we definitely want to be doing all we can to kind of keep hunger at bay without overeating to try to manage hunger. So, research shows that even just one night of disrupted sleep can interfere with the hormonal regulation and therefore increase our food cravings. This is why it's so important to make your sleep a priority. So we could go through sleep tips. That might be a whole nother topic, but I'm almost 100% sure that I've done a live on this in the past. So if anyone wants to go back through our archives, you will be able to find a really comprehensive overview of sleep, how your sleep hormones work, and how to optimize your sleep to balance out not just your sleep hormones, but also your stress hormones, your hunger hormones, and then that all obviously relates back to cravings. So my next tip is to address any potential nutrient deficiencies. So there have kind of over the years been found to be links between certain nutritional deficiencies and particular types of food cravings. So for example, a few different studies have found that people who tend to experience more sugar and carb-based cravings tend to be on the lower side or be deficient in zinc, magnesium, chromium, and tryptophan. So all of those are involved in balancing and helping the body to metabolize insulin and glucose. So they play really key roles in how hungry we are, and then that obviously relates back to our cravings as well. Fatty foods, potentially those people need more fat-soluble vitamins. Anyone who craves salty foods, this could be because of dehydration or even excess stress. So they have found that people who have increased levels of cortisol in their body do tend to crave more salty foods. Chocolate, magnesium. I always tell this to myself every time I feel like I'm craving chocolate, particularly if it's really dark chocolate, because dark chocolate is a lot higher in magnesium. I know that sometimes I'll eat a little bit because there are so many health benefits of a really high quality dark chocolate, but often I will eat a little bit and then go and take some magnesium supplements, which I usually do take every day, but some days a girl needs more because I exercise a lot. And iron. So people who crave iron-rich foods like kidney beans, persimmons, red meat, this may sound really odd. I personally haven't experienced this before. Sometimes I crave kidney beans and I crave persimmons. This can be because your iron levels may be a little bit low. So before you go kind of self-diagnosing, I would definitely recommend going to the doctor and getting some bloods done. You can get all these things checked in your bloods very easily through your doctor. All you have to do is just kind of tell them what your symptoms are and why you want the tests, and they are usually pretty obliging. Those are my main tips. And drink lots of water. That one may sound obvious, but water and particularly herbal teas, and actually while I'm on the topic of herbal teas, this one, our T2, this is most specific for cravings and hunger. So it is called our fat burning tea, which it also does have that benefit, but the ingredients in here, particularly we use a high grade therapeutic cinnamon. So if people hear that cinnamon has health benefits, which it does, it's really important to not be confused between kind of the supermarket shelf cinnamon and the therapeutic true cinnamon. So this uses true cinnamon, which has been shown to help to balance out our blood glucose and to help to alleviate a lot of cravings because of that. So this one is fantastic for helping with those cravings as well. Another reason that drinking excess water or enough water and herbal teas particularly is really good for cravings is because, I mean, a few reasons. One, because it can help to stimulate a lot of those stretch receptors that can then send signals that we're no longer hungry, but also because it has an emotional link. Like I said at the start, cravings, yes, they're related to hunger and appetite, but there is a much stronger emotional link. And for a lot of people like myself, I need something. I would snack all day if I thought it would help me. I know it won't help me, so I don't. Instead, I always have a pot of tea. And today I've actually been drinking our anti-inflammatory tea, which I don't have behind me, but it's one of my go-tos for really any time of the day. I always have a pot of tea, a big bottle of water. I do a couple of decafs through the day. It's that having something comforting to hold or to put in your mouth or to have a flavor. If you kind of sit back with your cravings and sit back with your emotions and you kind of view them for what they are, being able to recognize that the need to be holding something or to be to have that comfort or that habit is really, really powerful. So don't think that you need to push that away. Use that to your advantage. If you notice that you really thrive off having something with you constantly, then get something with you constantly. And the benefit is herbal tea is fantastic. It is so good for you. There are so many added health benefits. Not only do these ones taste delicious, they have so many incredible benefits. So if you want to learn more about those benefits, jump onto our website. All the information is on there under the product descriptions. But that is it for today. If anyone's got any questions, please feel free to comment them below. I'll be jumping back in and answering any of them. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful end of the day.